Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, JenksTCG. Today we're going to be covering Pikarom in the standard format, and we're going to cover everything that you need to know about the deck. So with that being said, let's get into it. Alright guys, so here's the deck list, getting straight into things. Pikachu and Zekrom, 240 HP, 3 prize attacker, and Full Blitz is its main attack. It does 150 damage for 3 lightning energies, and when you use Full Blitz, it's going to allow you to search your deck for 3 lightning energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon on the board. Tag Bolt GX is a super powerful GX attack. Its base effect is 3 lightning energies, 200, but if you have an additional 3 lightning energies on it, it can do the base 200 and 170 damage to one of the opponent's Pokemon, bench Pokemon. This is extremely powerful because it allows you to set up multi-prize turns and has a strong comeback potential if you are losing, and overall can wipe your opponent's board of attackers and is a very good card overall. Boltund V is another cool card from Rebel Clash that has just been released. 200 HP, 2 prize attacker, so it's going to allow us to set up situations where we can attack with a 3 prizer, then Boltund, then another 3 prizer to make it super difficult for our opponent to win the game. Electrify for 1 lightning energy is going to allow you to search your deck for 2 lightning energies and attach them in any way you'd like on your board. And Bolt Storm for a lightning energy and a colorless energy does 10 damage plus 30 for all the lightning energy on your board. Overall, a very solid 2 prize attacker, and kind of took place of Koko V once it got released. Raichu is the other attacker in the deck. It only has a 1-of copy, but that doesn't take away from anything. It's super powerful. Tandem Shock does 80 damage, and it has that effect where if you move from the bench to the active, does an additional 80 and paralyzes the opponent. Tandem Shock, when paired with a well-timed reset stamp, is going to give you the potential to come back into the game and buy turns off your opponent if they miss a switch. Lightning Ride GX does 150 damage. It allows you to switch the Raichu to your bench, but if you have an additional 2 energies on it, it does 100 more damage, so you can hit for 250 and switch to the bench, putting a 1 prizer in the active, which is actually very, very good. So overall, Raichu, very powerful card. Then we have Tapu Koko Prism. This is going to allow you to accelerate energies on your board. Zeraora-GX is going to give you free retreat across anything that has lightning energies on it. Eldegoss V is here to get our supporters back, like Mallow Lana or Boss's Order, that we don't play a lot of. And then we have Marshadow Resetting Hole, super powerful for any opposing counter stadiums that might get in the way, namely Power Plant. And since we only play the 1 Thunder Mountain, this can be a very good option to counter any stadiums that come into play. It is also very good against Buzzwole, which can be played in the Spirit Tomb decks and will allow you to just knock it out with its attack, Red Knuckles. The last Pokemon in the deck that we need to cover is Mew. Mew is going to prevent opposing Cramorant Vs and opposing Pikaroms from dealing damage to your bench, and is very good for setting up plays that remove the opponent's option to KO Dedenne. So overall, very good attacking lineup, and Pikarom is kind of the 50-50 deck of the format, as it always has been, and usually the knowledge of the deck is going to allow you to take those better matchups against other decks. Getting into the rest of the deck, Electropower is going to be what allows us to hit higher numbers, so it allows you to add 30 damage for all lightning attacks until the end of your turn. So this takes Full Blitz and does 150 into 180, 210, 240, etc. Very, very good card, and allows you to do more damage to KO more higher HP Pokemon. In addition to this, Energy Switch, this is going to give you a ton of flexibility on moving your energies around, and when that Full Blitz happens, you can move and manipulate all the energy on your board to put them in better positions for your game plan. 1 of Great Catcher, just to have an additional Gust as an item card, 4 Quick Balls for consistency, 2 Reset Stamps for comeback mechanic. Like I said earlier, Tandem Shock plus Reset Stamp is extremely good, and is going to allow you to have that comeback potential in the game. This version of Pikarom supports a Tag Call engine, which is going to allow us to dig for Guzma Hala, which is our main setup card, and Mallow Lana. So when using Tag Call, you can go ahead and grab Pikarom or Raichu, and then you're most likely going to target Guzma Hala in the early game, which when you discard 2 cards from your hand, is going to allow you to find Thunder Mountain, Speed Energy, and a tool card, which could be Air Balloon or Big Charm. This is going to be super important for setting up the rest of your game, and it overall is a really, really strong opener. 2 copies of Boss's Order with Eldegoss V. This can become a 3, and is overall just how you are going to gust up the Dennes and stuff like that for easy wins. Mallow Lana is super powerful against Dragapult V, is going to allow you to heal attacks of most opposing Pokemon and can set up super powerful situations where you completely erase an opponent's turn. 3 copies of Marnie and 3 copies of Research as our dig. Marnie also acts as a way to manipulate the opponent's hand if you don't already have Reset Stamp, and it's super powerful in the early game. Air Balloon is just going to give one of our Pokemon 2 less retreat cost. Big Charm, this is extremely important for anything that threatens a one-shot on Pikarom, because you can take that 240 HP entry point and raise it by 30. So this is just another good card to grab off Guzma Hala. It's going to make your Pikarom and any other attackers that you attach it to a little bit more beefier. Last thing we need to cover is Speed Energy, new energy from Rebel Clash, and when you attach this to one of your lightning Pokemon, you may draw 2 cards. So this is just going to increase the amount of draw that the deck has and create a fast archetype and hard-hitting archetype that is super well positioned in this meta. With that all being said, let's get into some matches. Alright guys, so here we have the first game of the video. Going to be choosing heads as always, and we win the coin flip, so we're going to elect to go first. This mainly means that we're going to be able to try and use Tag Call to use Guzma Hala and then start getting stuff going, and not to be too concerned about the speed of which we get going. Looking at our opening hand, we do have a mulligan. Our opponent has a Psychic Coin, don't really know what he's playing yet. Here we have our opening hand, not bad. We have Zeraora, so all of our Pokemon are going to have free retreat. We also have Electromagnetic Radar, which is going to allow us to set up other cards. And yeah, so with all that being said, our opponent's going to open a Jirachi, and we do have Tag Call in our hand, so we can't use Guzma Hala this turn. I'm going to go ahead and go for a faster approach. I'm going to go ahead and Electromagnetic Radar, dumping this Lightning Energy and this Mallow Lana. I'm going to go ahead and grab Pikachu and Zekrom and Dedenne, look through our prize cards. Tapu Koko Prism is in the deck, which is super important, as well as Thunder Mountain. Ton of energies. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty good. It looks like we prized our other Boltund and a boss's order, so not a huge deal. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 2 cards, and we're just going to try and get as much stuff into play as we can. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Boltund V. I'm going to go ahead and Tag Call. Just looking through again, we're going to hold the cards in there just in case we need them later, and I'm going to go ahead and use the Dedenne to draw 6 cards. Looking at this next 6, we do find Speed Energy, which is going to give us 2 more cards, going to attach to the Pikarom. And yeah, not a whole lot else we can do with this hand. But we do have a Lightning Energy for Koko Prism, and we do have what should be a guaranteed attack with Guzma Hala. So I think we're just going to pass here and see what our opponent's able to do. It's going to guarantee us the turn 2 full blitz. We have Switch in hand, and overall we can just start setting up attackers and go from there. Quick Ball going to come down from our opponent, and he's going to discard an Energy Spinner. So it looks like we are playing against a Dragapult deck, one of the best decks in Standard at the moment. Dragapult V is what he grabs with the Quick Ball, and as we saw in the last video, we have Dragapult V, which has Bite and Jet Assault. Jet Assault can be a little threatening, but the main purpose of our opponent is going to be to evolve into that Dragapult V Max and start spreading. We actually get hit with a Reset Stamp, which is kind of odd at this stage in the game, unless the opponent's just trying to burn stuff, but we actually get our turn 2 full blitz removed, unless we can find some other stuff, so not ideal. But our opponent's going to Stellar Wish into Cynthia, and just looking at this hand, you got Electro Powers, but with this Dragapult V being on the bench, we would be very aggressive, try and go for a boss's order. I don't hate the play, but I'm not too sure how much I like it. I want to go ahead and see what we get off of our top deck before we make any decisions. But not an awful play would be to use these the 2 Electro Powers, attach an energy to the Pikarom, and then try and switch and gust up this Dragapult V. It's a little greedy, but it looks like we're going to be discarding this hand anyways, so there isn't a ton of downfall to doing so. Quick Ball is going to fail from our opponent. Wouldn't be surprised to just see a pass here, or maybe play one of their cards. They do have Cynthia, I did forget about that. So Fresh Stick's going to come down. They got the energy attachment, so they're in a pretty good spot. Skateboard's going to come down, and yeah, so Boltund could be useful in this matchup just so that we can start making the prize trade a little different. We're mainly going to be looking to take 2 knockouts on Dragapult VMAX if we can't knock out this Dragapult V this turn. It'd be super important if we can find this knockout, because it's going to set our opponent back big time. Looking at this hand, I think we just go for it, because if we do get it, we're going to be in a huge advantage. So I'm going to burn both these Electro Powers, attach this lightning energy to the Pikarom and Dedenne. We're looking for Boss's Order, Tapu Koko Prism, and a way to retreat. So it looks like we actually have a pretty big whiff. We did get Air Balloon, but looking at the rest, we don't have a way to gust up this Dragapult V. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this here. I'm going to go ahead and quick ball away this Great Catcher, because I don't think that will be very useful in this game. We're going to go and grab this Koko Prism, and opponent didn't do too much, so I don't see a whole lot of reason to use this Marnie, but we can put them back one card. So I'm going to go ahead and Dance the Ancients, get that energy on the board and flow in, and then I am going to Marnie, just put them down one more card, and hopefully give them a disadvantage that way. So there's the Marnie. Going to draw 5 cards, our opponent's going to draw 4. And with this hand, I think we're just chilling. So I'm going to go ahead and retreat into this guy. I don't believe the Raichu is in the deck, so I'm going to go ahead and full blitz. We could threaten Tag Bolt, but I think our opponent's going to get the VMAX. So I'm just going to go ahead and full blitz onto this Boltund V and just get the energy flowing, which could allow us to take a big knockout with Bolt Storm in a second. So I'm going to put the energies onto the board. I didn't need to put that much on the Boltund. That was kind of silly. I could have put them on Zeraora or even the active. But now we have 7 lightning energies in play, which is going to allow us to hit 220 with Bolt Storm if we need to. So that's very good. Crushing Hammer is going to come down. This is another annoying thing about some Dragapult variants. If they play Crushing Hammer, it might set us back if they can flip heads. They're going to use Mysterious Treasure and discard a switch. Lightly to grab the Dragapult VMAX. There it is. We're going to see the Evolve. 2 cards in our opponent's hand. They just need an energy. There's going to be their supporter for turn, which is Cynthia, drawing a fresh 6. And there comes another Crushing Hammer. Head's going to be scary. Probably going to remove from the active, just so that we can stop attacking. Going to take our opponent a second to decide where he wants this. It's going to come off the active, and the energy hits the discard. Looking at our hand, not a whole lot going on, but we're just going to be able to full blitz, and when in doubt, full blitz it out. So there's the power plant. Our Marshadow reset hole is going to be useful to get rid of this, as well as our our Thunder Mountain. Our opponent whiffs the Max Phantom, which he does. I think that it's a viable option to just go for a huge play and set up Tag Bolt, which if we can get a gust effect, we can knock out the bench and the active. So I think that's going to be our best bet. I'm going to go ahead and Guzma Hala and get rid of 2 cards. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Mew. I don't think that's going to be very useful. And this Reset Stamp, because I don't see our opponent coming back or taking a ton of prizes anytime soon. I'm going to go ahead and grab these 3 cards. Reset Hole is in there. We do have 1 boss, so I think our next play after we full blitz is going to be to grab the Dedenne, since this power plant will be out of play, and go ahead and Dedenne into the boss's order and win that way by setting up a multi-prize knockout. So we're going to go ahead and attach this speed energy, draws 2 cards. I don't see any problems with putting this Big Charm on the active, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I think we just hold the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and full blitz for 150 onto this Dragapult V, and then accelerate 3 energies from the deck onto the active. And now at this point, we kind of just see what our opponent has, and next turn, we're going to thin our deck as much as we can and go all in to get this knockout on both Pokemon. Horror Energy is going to come down. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Reset Stamp, going to take away our hand, which was a little annoying. I guess that would have been the merit to replacing the stadium, and not much, just a Max Phantom for 130 from our opponent. 5 damage counter is going to hit the board somewhere. Likely going to be the Boltund. And yeah, looking at this, we do, oh, and there it is. So we have a lot of options with this hand, but we end up winning the game because we drew Boss's Order. So a very, oh no, I'm wrong. I forgot about the 10 that we need from Electropower. So that is my mistake. But I actually think it's still pretty good to Tag Bolt here. I'm going to go ahead and put this Reset Hole into play and then Tag Bolt. This is going to put our opponent in a pretty odd situation. So I got a little ahead of myself, but no worries. I'm going to go ahead and take 3 prize cards. And now this Dragapult V is 10 damage away from being knocked out. And our opponent concedes. So yeah, I got a little ahead of myself, but still a good game nonetheless. We got to see the speed at which Pikarom is able to get going, and we just pressured the opponent's Dragapult deck out of the game. And we were able to see a lot of situations where if we dug and hit the right cards, you can make super powerful turns and just completely take your opponent out of what they can do. So very good first game to the video, and yeah, let's get into the next one. Alright guys, getting into the last match of the video, going to be going against a Lightning, Dark, and Psychic type. I'm going to call heads on the coin flip as always. End up losing the coin flip, a little bit of a different approach from our other games. Never mind, the opponent elects for us to go first. So we're going to start the Pikachu Zekrom, and assuming the Speed Energies and the Thunder Mountain are in the deck, we will have a guaranteed turn 2 blitz with this hand. Opponent's going to go ahead and mulligan. Going to draw a fresh couple cards. And looking at this, it looks like we are going against a mirror match. So this should be interesting, to say the least. And yeah, the opponent's going to select their starting Pokemon. Going to draw a mulligan. Boltund V, not bad. And there is a Zeraora. So, like I said, this hand's pretty good. And I think we're just chilling. I'm going to go ahead and attach this Lightning Energy. Before I do that, though, I am going to Quick Ball. Just make sure that everything that we need is in the deck. I'm going to go grab this Dedenne just in case we need to do something else. And good thing I checked, because Thunder Mountain is not in our deck. So the Guzma Hala play would not have been the greatest. And yeah, good thing I checked. Just make sure people check your prize cards. It can save you a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes in playing that have cost me games due to not checking prize cards. So I don't want to get rid of these Electropowers. I think they're going to be kind of useful in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach and pass. So our just a little bit weaker than we expected. But I want to use these Electropowers potentially on a Pikarom that gets put in the active or something like that. So I think we're okay to sit on this hand. We need to find Koko Prism so we can get this energy in play along with E-Switch. With the Dedenne, we can use Research and draw a ton of cards. So I'm not too concerned about the future of this game. Radar is going to come down, discarding a Great Catcher and Electropower. And as we know, our opponent's going to grab Pikachu and Zekrom and Dedenne, something that we have done ourselves. Going to be a mirror match, so we know pretty much the lines of play that this opponent can do. Stuff that could be important, though, is whether or not they play Raichu. If we have that paralyze option and they don't, that can definitely help us in our game plan. Quick Ball, going to grab us the Koko Prism, or them the Koko Prism, and at this point, we just have to hope that they can't get a turn 1 blitz. Speed Energy going to come down. Looks like the turn 1 blitz is no longer an option. They draw 2 cards. And yeah, Koko Prism on the bench. Marnie, looks like our hands are going to get changed a lot this video, which is pretty funny. So sorry if that's confusing. Looking at our new hand, we don't have to discard those E-powers, but we do know they're at the bottom of the deck. Unfortunately, we drew an Energy Switch, but we're still in this game. No worries. And honestly, I think we're fine. Someone's probably going to just have to pass. They're likely retreating, or debating on retreating this turn. They give us the Pika and we can swing into it. That's going to be a big advantage. So I don't hate that. The Zeraora, from my experience in the mirror match, you want to go into the Zeraora because it provided the least value and it's the hardest to KO. Now that Boltund is a card, that might have changed, but Boltund is better as an attacker, whereas Zeraora just kind of sits around. We're going to pop their Koko Prism, which is going to put their energy on the Pika, and definitely limits their ability to get more lightning energy in play. But a little preemptive from our opponent. I guess they could have a fear that we knock it out. We don't play Wobbuffet, so they don't need to worry about that. And yeah, just gonna take our opponent a second to decide what he wants to do, and just a pass gonna come on to our turn. But that's not what we want to see. We get the second energy switch in our hand, so definitely not ideal. Gonna go ahead and I'm not really scared of any of the stadiums. I don't know how much I want this in play, just the bench spot. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into play just in case we want to remove their Thunder Mountain since we don't have ours to our disposal. We'll go ahead and research here. Tag Call, see what we can get. I'm gonna go ahead and grab Raichu and get this Guzma Hala out of our deck. I think it's still worth it for us to pursue this Koko Prism. We go ahead and Quick Ball, getting rid of the Guzma Hala. I'm gonna go ahead and grab, Dedenne. many switches are in here? We have 3 switch and 1 E-switch. So I think I'm going to go ahead and bench this Raichu, attach this Lightning Energy, switch to the Boltund, use this E-Power into Dedenne, and now we're looking to get Switch Koko Prism. We can get attacking. Switch and Koko Prism and the Electropower, so we're going to actually be able to knock out this Zeraora. Just start getting some prizes going. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the Pika, and I think we're in a pretty good spot now. I'm going to go ahead and switch into the Pikarom and just take the knockout on this Zeraora. So we actually are in quite a good position. This went from not a great position to a really good one. I'm gonna go ahead and slap these 3 energies on this Raichu so that we can paralyze this opposing Pikarom, since they're most likely going to be using Full Blitz this turn if they can get to it. So we're going to take 2 prizes. Now we're just 4 prizes away from winning this mirror match, and we're going to see what our opponent can do. If they don't play Raichu, I think this is a big disadvantage for them, because they don't have any stamp paralyzed potential, and they're missing that big Lightning Ride attack. Thunder Mountain's going to come down, so our opponent does have the Full Blitz. This is actually really good for us too, because we can now Lightning Ride this Pikarom for just an energy now that the Thunder Mountain is in play, and knock out the opponent's Pikarom, which is going to be super big. If they don't play Raichu, this puts them in an even worse spot, because then their follow-up to knock this out is nothing great, just going to be a Full Blitz again. There goes Dedenne from the Quick Ball. Gonna draw 6. They discard Scrapper and what I think is Boss's Order. Yep. And Tag Call coming down. I'll probably go and see the Mallow Lana, and I don't know what that was. Raichu. Okay, so they do have Raichu. So this is a bit tricky now. Ideally, we still can make this play, but I think what our news plan is going to be to knock out this Raichu with our own Raichu. Which is achievable with a Electropower since we have the boss in hand. So, alright, nice. I'm gonna go ahead and attach this here and play a little bit on the risky side. Go ahead and Quick Ball away this Mew and take this Pikarom out of our deck. I don't think we're gonna be needing it. We have 2 Electropowers in the deck. Our odds aren't great, but I think this is what's going to give us the best shot at winning. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, and the Charm hit the Pika, so we can't Lightning Ride that. I'm going to go ahead and Gust up the Raichu, and then Dedenne for 6. We hit a Power and a Switch. We're in a pretty good spot. We don't hit them. So I think what I want to do here actually got not ideal for us. And pop this Marshadow to get rid of Thunder Mountain, which I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to Full Blitz into this Raichu. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to put the energies on this Boltund. Go ahead and put those there. Now, if this Pikarom goes down, we have a 2 prize attacker to attack with, and we can Reset Stamp the opponent to hopefully reduce their odds of winning. By doing so, because they would have to knock out this Raichu. But we damaged their hard hitter, so now we just see what they can do. Unfortunately, we weren't able to hit the power on the switch. The Mallow Lana is actually a really big card here. Definitely annoying to see that off the tag call. We knew that was in their hand, so missing the attack hurts a little bit more, but definitely a good idea to put the energies on the Boltund instead of the active, since we knew that this would likely get KO'd. There goes the big retreat. We're going to be able to Lightning Ride this, though, with that 30 damage. So, not awful, but we do need this Raichu to come back to the active for that to be a possibility. We don't have access to Tag Bolt. There's the Full Blitz, just going to take the knockout. We're not in an awful spot. We can Lightning Ride this Pikarom and then switch to the bench into Boltund or something like that. We have 7 energies on the board, so we're hitting 220. Yeah, not a bad spot to be in right now. 6 energies going on to the Raichu. We can Eldegoss and try and hit that boss again, take the knockout on this, which I actually still like as a play a lot, and we can do so with the Boltund V, which the Electropower is going to make that even more likely. So looking at this hand, 3 energies on active, 4 on bench, going to be hitting 220, 250 with the power, which with the Gust is going to knock out this Raichu. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the power, then put this speed energy on the Raichu just to make the lightning ride more doable. And there's the quick ball. Gonna go ahead and stamp our opponent. The 3 just remove some outs for them, and then quick ball, get rid of this Marnie. Don't think that's gonna be super useful. Grab our Eldegoss. It's gonna grab us the boss's order. There we go. Then boss's order up the Raichu. I think we are fine. Just energy switch one of these energies off, which is gonna just free up some deck space, and then Bolt Storm, take the knockout on this Raichu, and now we're gonna go down to 1 prize. So a reset stamp could be problematic, but we have a ton of outs in the deck to draw out of it. Reset stamp to 1 is always scary, and as we add dead cards to our deck, not gonna be ideal. But as we saw on that deck search, we do have a Great Catcher, and we can tandem shock this Dedenne for knockout if we grab that Great Catcher. So Tag Call gonna come down. Pikarom to the hand. 4 cards for opponent. There goes the Pikarom down to 3. Don't know what these cards are, and there's a research. Gonna draw our opponent 7. We actually see a Yell Grunt hit the discard. That's kind of neat. I didn't catch the other card. Absol. This shouldn't be too annoying. We do have Air Balloon as well. We should be fine there. I think we're in a pretty good position. Ideally, our opponent would not reset stamp us. There goes the speed energy onto this other Pikarom. Gonna draw our opponent 2 cards, and there's the reset stamp. Definitely not what I wanted to have happen. We do get research, so that's really, really good. And our opponent will probably use Tag Ball to knock out this Boltund, which I think they're going to be in an awkward position if they do that. But that looks like their best play, just to prevent us from just from being around on the board, honestly. And Tag Ball GX, there it is. Gonna take the knockout on our Boltund V. And now I think our best bet is to just go for this Great Catcher. We know we have Dedenne in the deck, so if we can draw our cards in the right order, we should be fine. Lightning Energy in our hand. Gonna go ahead and put this on the Dedenne just to get some retreating options, and then go ahead and research. We can get Great Catcher. We win. Don't quite have it. The view that was close from our opponent. Gonna go ahead and reset stamp. Put our opponent down to 1 just in case. And then we have Electropower, so we do win the game. Wow. So lots of me using oversight in this video, just not seeing our win cons, but I will realize them eventually. And as I get more used to content creation, I'm sure that won't be an issue. But thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. If you did make it to the end, go ahead and put a comment in the video saying you made it to the end, and I'll do everything I can to look at it, and I will be responding to all comments. So thank you guys so much for watching. All the links are in the description for anything that you might need. All my social medias, are Discord channel, which I'm going to start using once I start live streaming. And yeah, if you appreciate the content that's going to be posted on this channel, looking to upload Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a consistent schedule, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Turn that notification bell on, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See you guys.